And welcome to The Legend of Zelda Oracle of the Ages Let's Play by Link6616, otherwise known as Rowan Carmichael. So, you'll be watching this just after having watched the Oracle of the Ages Seasons playthrough. So, this dungeon's a little bit different, and I haven't actually pre-played this because I felt too lazy to, and it's a first dungeon. So, we don't have to go over basic principles of dungeoneering because, again, this is a first dungeon. However, we do get some new concepts to deal with. For instance, we have a very simple puzzle with these colour cubes. The colour cubes come up very frequently in Ages. They do come up in Seasons, I believe, but they're not as dominant. Yay, dungeon map. So the cube has multiple sides, and a lot of these puzzles, I actually kind of like them. They do feel a little bit gimmicky. I think they could have done something a lot better with the idea, but I don't feel disappointed with them at the very least. Let's see if there's anything to gain from killing everything in this room. Not from the looks of things, unless there's a spawn I've missed. Oh. Worth noting, if I haven't noticed previously, we have new types of maps. You can see all the spaces. Well, I mean, we can always see all spaces once you have the map, but I mean, we have access to multiple floors if there are indeed multiple floors. Oh, these things. See, already, first dungeon in Oracle of the Seasons, and you can see Ages. And we can see slightly more complex things brewing. Wait. Sorry, I thought these were something else entirely. There is something very interesting that comes up later with these kind of statues, by the way, though. Ooh. I always love these kinds of rooms. They just sort of gate progression in what I think is actually quite interesting way. They can admittedly be a little bit tedious, and I'm going to de-equip those seeds because that's getting annoying. Okay then, can't go through there. Time to go down and around. And down and around again. Reminds me just like an Ocarina of Time dungeon. Lots of just extra walking around things that you don't really need to do. Although, this could be because I haven't done a pre-play for this one. Anyway, let's just keep moving forwards and forwards and forwards and forwards and forwards until you get sick of the voice. Push a block, forward to the key, and we should see some sense of progression. A key! Where is a key? There is probably where the key is. There's a key. That's perfect. So I'm gonna guess that we get the power bracelet this episode. That's how long it's been. I actually can't remember what the dungeon item is, or didn't have a good clue what the dungeon item was. Although, having said that, I bet you I mentioned it in the last episode just to prove myself wrong. But oh well. I can live with being wrong if it was me who made myself wrong. Rightio then, what is going on here? We have a thing, and another thing. This is a very simple puzzle. I was expecting a little bit more. So, new, again to this game, moving platforms. Well, I'm sure we must have had moving platforms previously in Link's Awakening, but I don't remember them outside of the small 2D dungeon segment, so I'm going to run with them not having previously existed. Let's use this moving platform again, but as you can see, this is still new concepts, and you can see that there's definitely a different focus in how the elements are arranged, as Ocarina of Time, Seasons clearly does not have as much going on in its dungeons as this does. Not that this is complex by any stretch, but it's definitely a bit of a different style to it than Seasons. What's up here? Boss dungeon. Ooh, not those things, they're horrible. Take it back to the start of the dungeon. Very simple. They're in, where do they get introduced? I think it's Ocarina of Time, but I'm probably going to be proven wrong. No! Oh, okay then, so it is an attack him thing. Nah, don't die. Right, that's better. So, does this take us back to the very start or a few rooms in? Very start. How boring. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a thing. What's the word? Power bracelet. That's the word. Okay then. I'm going to assume no keys here then. Should be a power bracelet very shortly, I hope. This is seeming quite familiar. As in, to my memory of having played this several years ago. Let's see where we are. Power bracelet. This is a nice little bit of mirroring. You will hopefully remember from the previous episode that the first dungeon item of the season's dungeon is in pretty much the same position. Down some stairs, down a ladder, in a little space of another ladder. No, not in a chest. This is... well, I said this in my playthrough of Link's Awakening. This doesn't really matter, but it is significant, which is obviously a little bit of a contradiction. Ooh, that's something. You can actually drop pots neutrally in this. If you want to throw them forwards, you have to throw forwards. Compared to Link's Awakening, you cannot throw them anywhere near as far. Which does change the usefulness quite a bit. It was kind of viable to use pots and things as a projectile. We can also actually push pots now, which opens up not a lot of things that are terribly interesting, because you can't throw a pot and then keep it alive. Anyway, what's in here? Boss key! And that means we are ready for a boss, but we do want just one more heart. That's better. I don't really like the flat shaded hearts. It seems a silly thing to pick on, but I think that the flat shaded hearts are just a bit, well, flat. Which makes sense because they are flat shaded. Now what is this boss? Pumpkinhead. Slash, 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 slash. Maybe I'm supposed to throw it at the thing. I think that's just coincidence. Heart container! Plot, 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 plot. The eternal spirit and essence of time. So, that was the first dungeon of Oracle of the Ages. I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Although there is a little bit more plot to go. You'll notice how in Seasons it was green leaves whizzing by, as opposed to red petals going from the top. I don't think there's any significance there, but the whole point of these playthroughs is that they somewhat mirror each other, and the idea is to point out some of the more interesting and trivial differences and similarities. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.